What if combining two distinct processes into a single moment could create magic? Imagine the first person who saw a Polaroid picture right after it was taken. When you hold a Polaroid, you're not just holding a photograph. You're holding the proof that invention can come from uniting what was once separate, and that creativity sometimes happens when we imagine what if two distinct processes finally meet. Because that's exactly what Edwin Land did. He joined the instant of capturing an image with the moment of seeing it. And in doing so, he turned chemistry, light, and time into magic you could hold in your hands. Even in this digital age, the Polaroid camera still exists. You can buy one today and still feel that small thrill. The click of the shutter, the hum of the rollers, the slow reveal of an image as it comes to life in your hand. It's as enchanting now as it was 8 decades ago. But when Edwin Land invented the Polaroid in the 1940s, the real innovation wasn't in the photograph. It was in what was reimagined through combination. This is the story of how one simple question, why can't I see it now, redefined photography and demonstrates how the what-if method can be used to reimagine how things are done, moving from reframing to rule-breaking, changing how value is delivered, then flipping assumptions and understanding the consequences. In 1943, Land was on vacation in Santa Fe with his 3-year-old daughter, Jennifer. He took her picture and she asked him the question that reframed an entire industry. Why can't I see the picture now? Photography had always been a two-stage system. Capture first, develop later. Waiting wasn't a flaw, it was a defining feature of how the system worked. But Land suddenly saw it differently. If you break the process down generically, it becomes a device that captures light, a chemical process that develops film, and a lab that is used to reveal the image. Each seemed essential, but only because they'd always been separate. Land's what-if question upended that assumption. What if the camera and the lab were combined? That single question broke every convention of photography. Film was meant to be fragile, handled in the darkness and processed by experts. Development required space, chemicals, and time. Land's team at Polaroid defied all that. They compressed the entire darkroom into a sealed packet of chemistry, layers of film and developer activated by rollers inside the camera. It was pure genius. It was scamper thinking in action. They combined the camera and lab, they modified the film to carry its own chemistry, and they eliminated the need for external development entirely. They didn't speed up the old system, they collapsed it. Before Polaroid, the value of photography lay in the finished product, a print returned days later by someone else. Polaroid changed when and how the valuable moment was delivered and by whom, and subsequently created the magic of seeing an image reveal itself in real time. The company wasn't selling photographs anymore. It was selling immediacy, agency, and trust. You didn't send your film away and hope for the best. You created and witnessed the result yourself. I remember as a child standing at the base of the Washington Monument when my dad took a Polaroid of us all, and then we gathered around watching the image magically appear. That shift from product to participation was the moment when photography became less about the picture and more about the experience. Traditional photography prized perfection. It prized clarity, reproducibility, and permanence. Land inverted that logic. He asked, what if the goal isn't technical perfection, but instant connection? The joy of the photograph was no longer in archiving a moment, it was in watching it emerge. By flipping the assumption that speed cheapened quality, Land proved that immediacy could be its own form of beauty. The consequences rippled through technology and culture alike. Behaviorally, photography became participatory. Taking a photo was no longer documentation, it was performance. People passed the image around, watching it develop together. The camera became a social catalyst. Culturally, Polaroid democratized creativity. It gave families the power to capture and share memories instantly. It became both a creative tool and an emotional artifact. Even today, in a world where every phone camera is instant, the Polaroid still exists, with recent models selling for $100 to $150 at Best Buy and Amazon. Reviews indicate that customers appreciate the classic retro look of the photos and find the camera to be fun and an enjoyable experience. They say the images produced, while not high quality, evoke a nostalgic feel, reminiscent of older Polaroid cameras. Land's invention wasn't just about speed, it was about the experience of capturing a memory. The photograph existed entirely in your hands. So when you hold a Polaroid, you're not just holding a picture, you're holding proof that invention can come from uniting what was once apart, and that creativity sometimes happens in the space where two distinct processes finally meet. That's what Edwin Land did, and in doing so, he turned technology into magic you could hold in your hand.